Welcome to the Gold IRA Blueprint Podcast. We help savvy investors protect and optimize their retirement savings. If you're a high net worth individual with a significant nest egg, we're talking $100,000, even $5 million tucked away in your IRA 401k or savings, and you're looking for ways to safeguard your wealth, well, you're in the right place.
Absolutely. We're going to be exploring gold IRAs, a strategy that's gaining traction among sophisticated retirees, people who are seeking to diversify their portfolios, hedge against economic uncertainty, really important stuff.
Before we get into it, make sure to grab our free Gold IRA checklist. You can find it linked in the episode description. It's packed with tips specifically for high net worth individuals like you. Now let's get started. One of the cornerstones of sound retirement planning is portfolio diversification.
Right.
And it's about spreading your risk across different asset classes to create a resilient portfolio that can weather market storms.
You see, as we transition into retirement, our risk tolerance often shifts. We're no longer seeking that aggressive growth. We're prioritizing the preservation of capital and generating consistent income. Traditional investments, like stocks and bonds, while important, can be vulnerable to market fluctuations, which can be scary for people.
Exactly. And that's where gold comes into play. Gold has a long history as a safe haven asset. During periods of economic turmoil, such as high inflation or geopolitical instability, gold has often held its value or even appreciated, acting as a buffer against losses in other asset classes.
Let me give you a historical example. Back in the 1970s, the U.S. experienced a period of what we call stagflation, high inflation, and slow economic growth. The stock market struggled during that time. Gold's price skyrocketed. This illustrates how gold can act as a portfolio ballast during turbulent times.
Okay, gold sounds promising, but how does a gold IRA actually work? I know some folks might be intimidated by the term, thinking it's overly complex.
It's simpler than you might think, really. A gold IRA is essentially a self-directed IRA that allows you to hold physical gold, as well as other precious metals like silver, platinum, palladium, all within a retirement account structure. So you get the tax advantages of a traditional IRA with the stability and security of tangible assets.
So instead of just owning stocks or bonds on paper, you actually own physical gold stored securely in an IRS-approved depository. That must provide a certain level of comfort.
Absolutely. And the process of setting up a gold IRA it's pretty straightforward, especially if you work with a reputable custodian, someone who can guide you through the steps.
Now, let's talk about the nitty-gritty. What are the key advantages of a gold IRA, especially for those who already have a substantial retirement portfolio?
Well, we've already touched on one major benefit, hedging against inflation, Gold has historically maintained its purchasing power when the value of paper currency declines. It can be a major concern for retirees on a fixed income.
That's a powerful point, especially considering that inflation can really erode the value of your savings over time.
Another key advantage is diversification. Gold tends to have a low correlation with other asset classes, like stocks and bonds. This means that when stocks are down, gold might be up, or vice versa. By adding gold to your portfolio, you can reduce overall portfolio volatility.
It's like having a shock absorber for your retirement savings, helping to smooth out those market bumps.
Precisely. And let's not forget about the tax benefits. Just like a traditional IRA, your investments in a gold IRA grow tax deferred, meaning you won't owe taxes on those gains until you withdraw the funds in retirement.
That's a huge advantage, especially for high net worth individuals who are already in a higher tax bracket.
And unlike some other investments, there are no annual taxes on the gold held within the IRA. This can lead to significant tax savings over the long run, allowing your wealth to compound more effectively.
Now, before we move on, I want to remind everyone to download our free Gold IRA checklist, linked in the episode description. It's a comprehensive guide designed to help you make informed decisions when choosing a Gold IRA provider and setting up your account.
Yeah, it can help make those decisions a little easier.
Now, with all these benefits, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement. But it's equally important to be aware of potential pitfalls, right? I mean, we've all heard those cautionary tales of investors falling victim to scams, especially in the alternative investment space.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Due diligence is so important when it comes to gold IRAs. One of the biggest red flags to watch out for is a provider who, promises guaranteed returns or makes outlandish claims about gold's performance. Remember, no investment is without risk, and gold is no exception.
Right. It's essential to approach any investment with a healthy dose of skepticism to do your homework. So what are some practical steps listeners can take to protect themselves and choose a trustworthy gold IRA provider?
First and foremost, look for a provider with a proven track record. You want positive customer reviews and a strong reputation in the industry. Don't be afraid to ask tough questions about their experience, fee structure, and storage arrangement.
Transparency is key. You want a provider who is upfront about all the costs involved,
Yep.
including setup fees, annual maintenance fees, and storage fees.
Absolutely. And speaking of storage, make sure the provider utilizes secure IRS-approved depositories. The safety and security of your physical gold should be a top priority.
It's reassuring to know that your investment is being handled with care and attention. Now, I know that choosing a custodian can seem daunting, especially if you're new to the world of gold IRAs.
Sure.
Could you explain the role of a custodian?
Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it might sound. A custodian acts as the caretaker of your physical gold within the IRA structure. They handle all those administrative tasks, ensure compliance with IRS regulations, and facilitate the buying, selling, and storage of your precious metals.
Okay, so the custodian plays a crucial role in this whole process. How can listeners find a custodian that aligns with their needs and values?
Word of mouth referrals can be a great starting point. Talk to your financial advisor, trusted friends, or family members who might have experience with gold IRAs. Online reviews and industry ratings can also provide valuable insights.
And don't underestimate the power of a simple phone call. Reach out to potential custodians, ask questions, and get a feel for their customer service and level of expertise.
Right. A reputable custodian will be happy to answer your questions and address any concerns you might have. Remember, you're entrusting them with a significant portion of your retirement savings, so it's essential to feel comfortable and confident in their abilities.
Before we move on, I want to reiterate the importance of grabbing our free Gold IRA checklist. You can find it in the episode description. It's a step-by-step guide that walks you through the process of choosing a custodian, setting up your Gold IRA, and making sure you are covering all your bases.
It's a valuable resource designed to simplify the process and give you peace of mind. Now, let's bring this all to life with a real-world example. Let's imagine a hypothetical scenario. We have a successful entrepreneur. Let's name her Susan.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about Susan's story.
So Susan is in her late 60s. She's built a thriving business, and she's accumulated a sizable retirement nest egg. However, she's become increasingly concerned about the volatility of the stock market and the potential impact of inflation on her savings.
That's a common concern among high net worth individuals. They've worked hard to build their wealth, and they want to ensure it's protected from market swings and economic uncertainties.
Exactly. Susan had always been a traditional investor, primarily focused on stocks and bonds. But as she approached retirement, she realized she needed a more diversified approach, something that could provide a hedge against inflation and potential market downturns.
So she started exploring alternative investments.
Yes, she began researching various options, and that's when she stumbled upon gold IRAs. The idea of owning physical gold within a tax-advantaged retirement account structure intrigued her.
It's a compelling concept, especially for someone like Susan, who values stability and wealth preservation.
She did her due diligence, consulted with her financial advisor, and ultimately decided to allocate a portion of her IRA to a gold IRA. She chose a reputable custodian, selected a mix of gold and silver bullion, and felt a sense of relief knowing that a portion of her wealth was now backed by tangible assets.
It sounds like she took a proactive approach to safeguarding her financial future.
Absolutely. Susan recognized that retirement planning isn't just about accumulating wealth. It's also about protecting what you've earned, ensuring your financial security in the years to come.
Susan's story is a great illustration of how a gold IRA can be a valuable tool for high net worth individuals who are seeking to diversify their portfolios, hedge against inflation, and potentially reduce their overall portfolio volatility.
It's about creating a more resilient retirement plan that can weather economic storms and provide peace of mind. Now, let's shift gears and talk about the current economic landscape. We're living in a time of unprecedented uncertainty. Inflation is at a 40-year high, the stock market is experiencing significant volatility, and geopolitical tensions are running high.
It's a lot to digest, and it's no wonder that many investors are feeling anxious about their financial future.
In times like these, it's more important than ever to have a well-diversified portfolio that includes assets that have historically held their value during periods of economic turmoil.
And that's where gold comes into play. Gold has long been considered a safe haven asset, a store of value that can potentially help protect your wealth when other assets are declining.
Let's delve a little deeper into the reasons why gold tends to perform well during periods of uncertainty. One key factor is its scarcity. Unlike paper currencies, which can be printed at will by governments, the supply of gold is finite. This limited supply helps to support its value, especially when investors are seeking a tangible asset that's not subject to the whims of central banks.
That makes sense. It's like the old saying, they're not making any more land. The same principle applies to gold. Its limited supply makes it a valuable commodity, especially during times of economic instability.
Another factor that contributes to gold's safe haven status is its historical track record. For centuries, gold has been a form of currency, a store of value, and a symbol of wealth and prosperity. During times of war, famine, and economic collapse, people have often turned to gold as a way to preserve their wealth and purchasing power.
It's fascinating to think about the long and storied history of gold. It's been a constant throughout human civilization, and it continues to play a significant role in the global financial system.
Indeed. And its enduring appeal is rooted in its inherent value and its ability to act as a hedge against inflation and uncertainty.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, a Gold IRA can be a valuable tool for high net worth individuals who are seeking to diversify their portfolios and potentially enhance their retirement security, especially in light of current economic trends.
That's a great way to put it. It's not about putting all your eggs in one basket. It's about having a balanced approach to retirement planning that includes a mix of traditional and alternative investments, with gold playing a strategic role.
I'm sensing a theme here. Diversification, diversification, diversification.
Exactly. It's really about spreading that risk.
Now, I know we've covered a lot of ground today, but I want to circle back to a point you made earlier about the importance of working with a reputable custodian.
Right.
Why is that so crucial when it comes to Gold IRAs?
Choosing the right custodian is so important. They act as the guardian of your precious metals within the IRA structure. They're the ones who handle the storage, the administration, the recording. They ensure that everything is done by the book, according to IRS regulations. A good custodian, a reputable one, will provide transparency, security, peace of mind.
So it's not just about finding the cheapest option.
Right.
It's about finding a custodian you can trust to handle your investment with care and expertise.
Absolutely. You want to look for a custodian with a solid track record, a good reputation in the industry, a commitment to excellent customer service. You want someone who's readily available to answer your questions and address your concerns.
You want a partner you can rely on
Exactly.
throughout your Gold IRA journey. And speaking of partners, don't forget to download our free Gold IRA checklist linked in the episode description. It's designed to help you navigate the process of choosing a custodian, setting up your account, making sure you're making informed decisions every step of the way.
It's a great tool, can save you a lot of time and hassle.
Definitely. Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought. We've talked extensively about the benefits of Gold IRAs, but it's important to remember that no investment is without risk. Right.
Okay, that's crucial. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement, but it's essential to maintain a balanced perspective. Consider all sides.
Yeah, it's all about being informed.
Gold, like any other asset, can experience price fluctuations. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, It's a long-term investment, best suited for those looking to diversify their portfolios. Hedge against inflation, enhance their retirement security.
Right. It's about making those informed decisions. Decisions that align with your own financial goals, your risk tolerance, and your time horizon.
And remember, knowledge is power. The more you understand about Gold IRAs, about the investment landscape, the better you'll be at making sound decisions to achieve your financial goals.
Absolutely. Well said. We encourage our listeners to continue doing their research, consult with trusted professionals, and explore the world of Gold IRAs. Keep an open mind and be discerning.
It's been a pleasure talking with you today.
Likewise. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Gold IRAs. We hope you found it informative and empowering.
Until next time, we wish you the best on your journey to a secure and prosperous retirement.
And don't forget to grab that free Gold IRA checklist. You can find it in the episode description.